Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's the 1st of June 2024, 9:34 a.m. A pinch and a punch for the first of the month. And what is it? Something in a kick for being so quick. Anyway, we're now into June. So, yes, I'm in my nightie and I'm looking fairly fucking ragged. Had a very bad night last night. I was up 11 times until about 5:30 a.m. and then I finally got a little bit of rest. And then I woke up at around about 7ish because, very weirdly, my red curtains on the curtain rod fell down. I thought at first, because it woke me up, that it was some kind of poltergeist activity. May well have been too. One can never always tell. But it was the actual, when I got up at about 8:30, it was the actual, the thing that the holder that screws into the timber had fallen completely off, had pulled away from the timber. I was like, what the fuck? So, very ill as I have been this morning and last night, I had to get up, go out to my laundry, find 2 longer screws, get up on the step ladder and screw the bloody thing back in. And I felt so weak and out of breath just doing that. But I did it because Mama T is intrepid and we can't have curtain rails lying all over the floor. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So it was a bit of an odd thing. And the other odd thing that happened, lovely odd, was last night I was lying in bed. It was about 7:30 p.m. and I had my bedside lamp on, because I was, as usual, looking at YouTube and Facebook and listening to podcasts on YouTube, lying in bed feeling a bit unwell, but soldiering on as I do. And my bedside light gave a funny little flicker, which is unusual because LED lights don't usually flicker like the old-fashioned electric, light bulbs. I thought, I took note of it. I thought, it must be a loose connection or something. And then a few seconds later, I received a message on Messenger from my friend Margaret, who's currently I thought she was in Croatia, but she was messaging me from a Catholic church in Milan, Italy, where they were doing a lecture on witches. So she sent me the screenshots of what was on their screen about witches, and I kind of got the chills because at that same moment in time, I had been listening to a podcast on esoterica by Dr. Justin Sledge on Mechtilda of Magdeburg, I think she was, who was a Catholic saint who was known for her, became famous, which was unusual in those days. It was enough to get you burnt as a witch in the medieval times. But she was known for writing erotic type, writings, of course, all about her relationship with the Godhead. So it was really fascinating that I'm watching something about a medieval Catholic saint and I receive a message from my childhood friend in a Catholic church in Milan on the subject of witches. So it was like, a bit unusual synchronicity. So anyway, we had a little chat. I told her I'm not an evil witch, even though I'm an ancestral witch, and she replied that she felt that I was deeply powerful in my spirituality too, because I was telling her about, my friend Scott and my psychiatrist, both in the span of the last few weeks, telling me that. Well, it's all very well being spiritually powerful, people, but I'm in a constant state of battling with my health, so I'm kind of done. I'm kind of fucking done. And I was kind of wanting more from life, like my happy ever after. But anyway, it is what it is, babies. I kind of have to laugh. My beautiful doctor says, I'm determined to get you well, Tanya, so you can fulfill all your dreams and goals and aspirations and have a good quality of life at long last. Oh, bless. My darling. I don't think I'm going to make it, but I get maudlin when I get very bad chest infections or asthma. I get maudlin because I'm already oxygen depleted from, sleep apnea all night, and then when I get that on top of it, it's an added burden of trying to fucking just breathe, man, get air, and just why I talk a lot, because the more I talk, the more I breathe, am I right? When I'm sleeping, not always breathing. Oh, that's the other lovely thing. I got a phone call yesterday. I don't usually answer strange numbers, but something said, I think you better answer that. So I did, and it was the sleep study people. So I'm booked in for Wednesday, the 5th of June. Oh, but Jesus, it's only 4 days away. At 9:30 in the evening, they'll come and they'll hook me up to all the apparatus. It takes about 25 minutes. And then I'll go to sleep. I know what happens when I have sleep studies. I get hypervigilant and I fucking refuse to sleep like a child. But it might not be so bad because they're coming to my home. At least I'll be in my own bed and in my own environment. So anyway, Mama T has to pull herself together for that because it's important. And so I've booked in for that, and then they come back the next morning to unhook me and take all the, bits and bobs away and get their results. It should be interesting. Anyway, and then on Friday morning, I've decided to pay for the out-of-pocket, that's not bulk billed, to have the lung function test as well, because I think that should be checked, because my lungs are fucked at the best of times, people. Wow. All those industrial injuries I did to myself during the COVID years. And then not being safe to access hospitals, it was like, not good, people. It's not good. Anyway, so here we are, meandering, but I'm alive and I'm happy, and I'm handling life even with my lungs. I've had I put myself back on Ventolin and Seretide, but kind of didn't really need it. But yeah, I was a bit struggling last night before I went to sleep, so I thought I better give my lungs a little bit extra to boost them along, right? And I'm drinking. It's not too bad because I put honey in it, but I'm drinking mullein tea to drive the infection or mucus or whatever out of me, which is working. It's definitely working. But because I think that might have made me pee even more. I only had 3 cups of it yesterday, but by the gods did I pee like a racehorse last night. It was intense. I was on average up every half hour. So you're talking to my ghost, darlings. You're talking to my ghost. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting better or returning to my usual level of subpar existence, my normal. And I don't know, getting back to the wild dance and getting back to living joyously and triumphantly. And And maybe one day my king will claim me for his own, whoever that person ends up being. Maybe it's too late because I feel like I'm fucking dying at the moment, but I've been dying for 59 years, people, so I don't even buy into my own bullshit anymore because I know the gods keep vomiting me back here, and they want me to have my happy ever after too, I think. Or maybe they're just torturing me. Some days it feels like it's just a long, slow torture. But when I'm up on my feet and I'm dancing wildly, even the gods sit back and take notice that I'm pushing myself really hard to live my absolute best possible life within my limited means and find joy and be immersed in love, even if it, it's platonic love and it can't go anywhere. It's still a wonderful thing to have so much love with so many wonderful friends and people being kind, and it makes up for the years that I poured so much love into empty, false vessels only to literally almost die, become so depleted. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the love that's being returned to me in recent years. Oh my goddess, look at this. Behind my back. Behind my back. You've been pooing like a mad woman behind my back. Oh, Charlie. I don't have the energy to do any cleaning, Charlie, because I don't have the lung capacity. She goes, don't worry, Mama. Just keep going. Just keep going, Mama. Don't worry. Be happy, Mama. Listen, you little shit. You little shit piddle. Oh, anyway. I love you. I love you. She didn't want to be alone this morning. I went to her cage to open up her cage, and my usual custom, if it's, reasonably nice day, is I get her out of her cage and open up the blinds in her room and the window bit, and then I get her fresh food and water, and then I put her out in the garden, right? But it's too cold and rainy today. So, pardon me, as soon as she saw me, she leapt onto me. She wanted to cuddle. And then so I took her in the kitchen, and my usual custom in the kitchen is to hold her over the kitchen sink, rather, so she can do her massive poo that she does as soon as she sees me first thing in the morning. Little bugger wouldn't get on my finger and stayed on my shoulder, so she did a massive poo over my shoulder all over the floor, didn't you? So Mama had to clean that. So it's been a bit of a hectic morning, really. But well, Charlie doesn't know any better, does she? You don't know any better. You know you don't. You're not doing it to be malicious. You're just a poopy head. All right, so on that note, all those strange occurrences, like my friend Margaret messaging me just as my light flickered, and then the curtain falling off the rail, literally falling completely off the wall, was a bit bizarre. So this is for Mama T, a sit up and take notice day, because there's lots of unusual things happening, little things, but synchronous things happening. So I'll be paying attention, even though I feel half fucking dead. I will be paying attention, people. What's today? Today must be Saturday, isn't it? Yes, Saturday. Oh, bejesus. 9:48 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Well, Shabbat Shalom to my Jew crew. Have a beautiful, peaceful, restful day. No rest for Mama T. What do they say? No rest for the wicked. Well, I am resting. I'm just going to make my video and then probably crawl back into bed. So today's title of the 1st of June 2024, Loosh Feeders Sucking Souls Will Never Win. The Tanya has spoken. Here's a lovely photograph. A friend is someone who listens to your bullshit, tells you that it's bullshit, and then listens to more of your bullshit. Thank you to my beautiful friends who can't get enough of my bullshit and adore me anyway. God's bless. Such a sweet cup of tea. It's such a sweet photo of women in the, I think they're in the 30s or 40s, nattering over a nice cup of tea. My friend Lynn wasn't able to visit me because she's sick too. And I said, oh, we're no good coming here because I don't know if I've had COVID. I haven't taken a test. I don't think so, because it just feels like my usual wintry change of season, Tanya tantrum that my lungs throw every change of season, 4 times a year. So, and I'm not that bad. I mean, yet, please God, I'm not that bad. 1st of June 2023, so 1 year ago today. On the tail of COVID and the Ukraine war, now the motherfucking bastards are threatening nuclear fallout. Have a nice day, people of Earth. The loosh feeders are making a fortune in doom and gloom prophecies. It's an industry. Shame on them. Today is another beautiful day. Yesterday I had 2 teeth fixed, an actual miracle given how long they were left to rot in my skull. But gratitude for this timely treatment which will sustain me on this planet a bit longer. The dentist was excellent. Life is good. Be the best version of yourself. Create, co-create. Never let the bastards grind you down. Yes, Charlie. There's a certain little girl looking appropriately disgruntled. Miss 5. Miss 5. Never fuck with Miss 5. Just saying. The usual saying at the casino is never fuck with the Tanya, but Miss 5 in her perfection and her pristine state can be the most frightening of all, really. Even I yield to her authority. Yes, my inner child runs this meat sack most of the time. It's probably why she doesn't allow me a love partner, because she wants to be kept safe and pristine. And I get it. I do get it. So, here I posted a video from YouTube, European Risk, more terrorising of the planet, but important to stay aware. I don't even know what that video was about, but they really were fear-mongering on an industrial scale. It was sick and evil and perverted is what it was. They still do it, What was the last fear-mongering we had recently in America? All the Yankee Doodle dandies were convinced that a total eclipse was the end of the world and the rapture and we were all going to die. I mean, they really are that idiotic. They really are. I have no time for idiots. It grinds my gears. I'll have to crawl back into bed to avoid all those idiots. That's how much it grinds my gears. But anyway, obviously that hasn't happened, which I knew it would not, because they don't even know anything about science. They don't even know anything about mythology. How many total eclipses have we had in the history of mankind, womankind, any kind? It's just lunacy on an industrial scale. But anyway, 1st of June 2020. Otto Titzling, inventor and kraut. Off to have my breasts squished, popped, ciceroed. Radiation sickness incoming. They sent me a letter recently, about a week or two ago. I was supposed to have that done again. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm already under par with my health. I don't need any more fucking radiation. Fuck off. And then if I get breast cancer, well then, it's just one more thing, isn't it? One more thing. But I have a feeling I won't get breast cancer. I have a feeling all that excess radiation is more inclined to give you breast cancer than anything else, or other illnesses. The best advice anyone ever gave me was to do your very level best to stay healthy and stay the fuck away from doctors. Apart from my much beloved psychiatrist who does have my back. The rest are, well, they've been proven now, haven't they, with the COVID regime, that they were not trustworthy with our bodies, minds, spirits and body autonomy. Evil it was. Here I have from 1st of June 2020. Little Evie, Miss 4, made this picture for me. I am the one smothered in all the love hearts. I smiled wryly and quipped, "That's good, Evie, as Tanya always needs lots of love." Intuitive, sweet child, she just nodded sagely. My muse is 4 years old and in tune with the universe. I am well impressed, also feeling much loved and seen. Charlie, you're being very fractious there. I think you need to go back in your cage. What is going on with you, really? What? And I want to show you the lovely picture she drew for me. My beautiful little Evie. I ended up gluing it to the bottom of one of my decoupage cases and of course sealing it in resin. That's how much I loved it. I wanted to preserve it because children's art should always be, preserved and loved and admired and encouraged, unlike mine with my vicious fucking callow, low-life scum dog parents used to throw all mine out and put me down as well. Awful they were. So I always love to preserve the beautiful little artworks that children give to me. Only in the last year or so did I burn all my kids' artworks because Crystal basically said, "Mum, means nothing to me and just get rid of it. And why are you preserving things from 35 years ago anyway?" True. So I burnt it all. But you know what? I was upset doing it because I literally dragged it from house to house through so many moves and I had carefully preserved it and honoured it. But I figured if she doesn't care, then why should I? This is how toxic families beat you down in the end, But anyway, little Evie Anderson, whose ancestors are the Anderson are my ancestors too. So we're kind of related in a weird kind of way. And we definitely have a bit of a soul connection, which is lovely. Little Avery Anderson immersed me in so much love. And the kid was onto something, because since then I have had a lot of love flow to me. Really, in particular, in the last 12 months. It's been lovely. And to you, my darlings, all of you who love me in my weird, quirky ways. So last night I recycled some old that should say Perspex, but I wrote Perplex. I only just noticed. So last night I recycled some old Perspex pieces I have stored rather uselessly for years. I put the 3 small pictures the boys made for me in it and hung it on the fence as my art gallery. Starting to get hot in here. I went to make a larger version this morning to put Evie's picture in, but the bloody useless bollocking silicone had gone dry. A whole container. So wasteful, that stuff. You buy it, you use a little bit of it, and then it goes off. It's just grinds my gears because it's not cheap. Lucky I only bought a smaller version, as I knew this would happen. Now I have to go out and buy another one. I taped the first 2 with sellotape to try to make it watertight, but I know that won't last long, so I need a better waterproof glue. Oh, sorry, Charlie. Held together with sellotape, lol, as it was my invention last night at 10 p.m, drilling holes, etc. Here's the little pictures from my little boys that used to live on Sapphire Street. I drew a picture of Charlie and they'd write me little notes. So cute. Lovely little boys they were. Brought me a lot of joy in the darkest times of my life. 2020 with all that COVID insanity. So you see, the gods always bring me beloved ones who value and appreciate me even in the darkest of times. Just got to keep your eyes open to who's around you and be willing to receive. I can flip it around to display the picture on the opposite side. Love it. Miss 5 is happy. Miss 5. Got to keep that kid happy, I tell you. If she's not happy, she goes to war. My psychiatrist thinks it's my Boadicea kind of attributes that makes me go to war. It's actually my Miss 5 who won't tolerate any further damage to my body, mind or spirit. And rightfully so. It's been a lifetime of it. So, anyway. I know I sound crazy and I'm not actually crazy, and, you know, I don't unleash Miss 5 too easily. I try and tamp that kid down a bit, but if it gets too much, then all hell breaks loose. Rightfully so too. Anyway, it's why I'll probably never have a partner, because they all think they can come into my life and fucking play 6 sadistic emotional games with me and stir me up and then leave me an emotional wreck. That cannot happen anymore. It must never happen to me again. Here we are, back in 2020, having some weird kind of breakdown, probably caused by finally completing the house sorting. sort of like flogging a dead horse, like my last romantic overture. Reaching out to dead loves, like a rubber chicken being swung around in a dark closet, smacking down all hopes and dreams, and even confident jangling devices of rare positivity, like a cunt. Oh well, next. Well, there wasn't a next. I shut that down quite tightly. I wonder when I'll ever stop being a cuntish cunty cunt and a psychedelic dreamer and loving monsters. It's a hobby. Bobo was over it. It's been a stressful fortnight with Damama shifting her shit all around the house. Same shit, different day. Magic happens, but so does shit. Choose wisely. It's a photo of Bobo lying down on the right hand side of my bed, exhausted from me doing my Swedish death cleaning and decluttering and sorting, and it went on for months, weeks and months. It was quite intense, people. Quite intense. 2nd of June 2019. Wow, I just woke up at 3 p.m. I must have been exhausted. Don't you climb those curtains? No. So she does cute baby bird noises. No, I told you no. Mama said no. Mama said no. What did Mama say? No. No. I play with her like that. Sometimes I pretend to eat her face. She just goes along with it because she knows I'd never hurt her. Where was I? I woke up at 3 p.m. I must have been exhausted. Right, here we are, back in the room, Charlie. I had another vivid dream. Something about going to a church service with friends who had an 18-month-old baby that was walking and talking and extremely intelligent, like you, Charlie. The child could already read complex geometry, like a tiny midget Einstein. Einstein. It was a cute... I love how I put that. It was a cute kid, but so advanced in such a tiny form as to be a bit unnerving. Anyway, somehow, this Jewish woman, who barely ever sets foot in shul, that means temple or synagogue, agreed to go to the service with them. That would never happen in real life. Anyway, we climb a lot of already rickety wooden stairs, and it was almost like a Quakers meeting, as the people were mostly silent. I was feeling out of my depth as I wore my usual stilettos, and just climbing the stairs with the baby in my arms had seemed dangerous. Someone handed me a prayer book and asked me to read out loud to lead the service. What? A newcomer who was not even Christian? I politely tried to comply. There were lines in English and underneath transliterations in another language. I assumed it was Aramaic, so I stupidly attempted to read them. CHPRS with strange grammar points under the first word. It came out sounding like I was spitting. It does actually, doesn't it? That's what it sounds like. I've just realised. Oh well, must have been feeling a bit phlegmy that day too in my sleep. Oh dear goddess. Oh, the leaves they've got little spikes on them. The leaves of the mullein tea is quite unpleasant. Now it's caught in the back of my throat. Oh well, better out than in, eh? I felt completely embarrassed and humiliated. I asked, "This is not Aramaic. I can't pronounce this language. What is it?" The person who handed me the prayer book rolled their eyes but smiled kindly. "It is Scottish language." I said, "Oh, like Gaelic?" They looked at me like a dim-witted fool. "Older than that." Okay, I will stick to just reading the English then. I read as eloquently as the last vestiges of my dignity would allow. The people smiled with pleasure as I felt somehow initiated, or at least respected, but I had no intention of returning. Again, as in my earlier dream today, the light was bright and clear and the colours were distinct, and it felt like real life, except for the absurdity of the gifted toddler and the strange church meetings. Anywho, I know why I was dreaming of Scottish people, as last night I finished watching a show called Shetland, which is a detective show. Ah, the midget baby image makes sense now. Shetland, as in Shetland pony. My poor brain is throwing up similes as it slowly defragments itself in the dream state. Anyway, the brightness of the dreams bodes no evil omen. Blue skies, clear water, and pristine imagery, even if a bit lost in translation. And the other funny thing about the people in the dream asking me to lead the service was I was a lay leader of services in my Reformed Jewish temple for quite some years actually. I used to get up and, try to read from the Torah occasionally, not very well. But I used to, participate in leading the services and, I used to take quite a bit of pride and joy in that until they ruined it for me by being constantly vicious behind my back. So there is, not just behind my back, but to my face as well, by the way. So there is that. But I did that for many years when my kids were little as well. My friend Scott said to me, "I thought you were only joking when you said you were Jewish and that's why you don't celebrate Christmas." I said, "I never joke about my religiosity or lack thereof." And he looked at me a bit shocked, I guess I must seem like a bit of an oddball, but I am an oddball. It's just the way I am, babies. Love me, love my shitty rainbow lorikeet shittiness and my quirky ways. Oh, Charlie, you're the only living creature that can literally shit down my neck and live. Just saying. Oh, my nightie just fell apart. Oh, that's nice. Well, it's old. I had two of them. The other one fell apart recently too. I got my value out of these nighties. They were given to me anyway, so they were second hand when I received them. But I've worn them to death, literally to death. Good. Right, where were we? I woke after one of my intense recurrent dreams. So vivid it was like being there. So I'd had a few dreams that morning, wow, and remembering them all too. That was a very potent day. emptying out an empty shop and adjoining home of stock, but unable to remove the large items like fridges and furniture, so I was stuffing smaller items in bags. The shop had belonged to my ex-husband, and even my daughter came to help, but left in a huff after a short while. That'd be right. The fridges were stuffed with food, which seemed still relatively okay. I was frantically checking use-by dates, lol. My ex seemed depressed and even a tad suicidal. There were much valuable items in the home and store, but he had not organised a removalist, so was resigned to just leave it all there. He was flying into brief rages during the dream, accusing me of carpet bagging, which is actually a grand family tradition in his family in real life. Ugh. Fucking dogs they were. God, they were awful people. They really were. Shirley and Jacques carpet bagging the bottles of whiskey that were tucked at the back of the house. My father-in-law had only been dead 1 hour. I said, for the love of all the gods, he's not even cold yet. Oh, they really were that mercenary. Fucking arseholes. Anyway, I must not upset myself because that's ancient history. But I got reminded, right, because of this dream. I calmed him down a few times by reminding him that there was no point in letting it all go to waste, and we should gather up what we can at least carry. The dream activities had the feeling of loss, of being stripped bare, even though the colours and light were so lifelike and clear. I opened a huge fridge and was shocked by seeing lots of food prepared in the freezer. In a living room in the small flat or house attached to the shop was an old-fashioned timber music cabinet, or perhaps a Victrola, but it played old records. Hello. Excuse me. I got upset then about losing that interesting piece. Just moved my hair out of her way. She's already done it. I went into a cupboard and found old tape recorders and tapes and CDs and even excuse me, PlayStation games, which for some odd reason I got excited about and stuffed into my bag. Oh, you're singing so many songs, Charlie. Hello. But there was a deep sadness and a sense of threat, of being dispossessed of our rightful entitlements to the property and business, like being satisfied with scraps and trinkets, while a bank or some other party took everything of real value. A theme of my life, a recurrent nightmare, loss mixed with threat, and the inability to thrive or prosper or be successful. Indeed. Beware the carpetbaggers, schnorrers, and personal space violators, lest they eat your soul. We already ate all the cake. I went dancing last night. I was feeling a little depressed, to be frank. I love alter egos. I do love you guys. And had fun dancing with Luke and Richie. However, the vibe is off there. As the night wore on and I became more tired, I felt increasingly a sense of threat. Some young Asian Australian guy, aged 19, was hitting on me. Ooh. He told me I looked like Natalie Portman, but thicker. What? He said, yeah, with bigger boobs and a fatter ass. I don't look a thing like Natalie Portman. I don't have a scrap of her talent, and the only thing we have in common is we are both Jewish. Although my Jewishness is more ishy as time goes by. But it was an interesting line from the young lad anyway. I told him that was not a compliment and shooed him away after he kept harassing me, demanding my name. And when I would not give it, he told me that I think I'm something special. I smiled, said to him, you must be 22 if you are a day. He replied, 19. I told him he needed to learn how to talk to older women and treat them with respect. Then I told him to go away. He tried to hold his ground, so I told him if he did not go away and leave me alone, I would make him go away. So that ruined my evening slightly. Something special. Yeah. Fuck off, kid. I returned to the dance floor just as altars were playing Iris, and the bass guitarist knows that is one of my most favourite songs, so he grinned at me. He was happy to see me return to my infamous spot. Lovely guy. I looked around the bar and most of the regulars were absent. They have killed it with the no drinking on the dance floor rule. Killed it. It was a quiet night with new faces, but the vibe is gone. 4th week in a row, I have felt the wrongness of it. So I came home, still feeling a little depressed, but all will be well. I will gather my emotional resources and keep on dancing. Maybe find other venues again. Even Richie went home early at 12:30 a.m. He was my little tiny, he was short. He was a short hobbit like me, little tiny American friend. He was an older man, older than me, probably in his late 60s or even early 70s. He was mad for me. Older men often are, I don't know why. He was nuts about me, but he was actually very sweet, but he was also quite nuts. He was a Vietnam vet, so that explained a lot. But anyway, it took me a year of him dancing at the casino for me to even befriend him. That's how long I just held him at arm's length because I could see he was a bit nutty. But anyway, he never caused me any harm. He was actually quite sweet. And we used to stand in front of the stage and look up at the architecture behind where the bands play at the Live Wire Bar. We'd look up and we'd scream out together, New Orleans, baby! And he'd actually been to New Orleans because he was American I think he was from New York. He said, oh my God, Tanya. He says, you would so love it in New Orleans. That would be your place. And I went, I know, there's voodoo and there's magic and there's awe and it'd be awesome. He was like, oh, Tanya, you're so cute, And he said, oh, and the food and the music. And he said, oh, you'd just love it. Well, I never got there, did I? I never got anywhere. And it's all too little too late now, but never mind. I must try not to cry because fate, people, fate. The gods decree what they decree, and they've kept me in this little house fending off death for 21 years now in poverty, unable to find true love. I mean, really, when you think about it, it's fucking tragic. It's why my psychiatrist is fighting so hard to get me well, because he thinks that I might have 20 good years in me or something and be able to achieve all the things I've dreamed about. But how are you going to do that without money, I might ask? So it's all kind of a dreaming the impossible dream. But I'm psychedelic dreamer, and I specialise in dreams, baby. That's one of my specialties, by the gods. He had said something weird early in the evening about me being the only woman there. I said, "Don't be silly. There are plenty of women on the dance floor." He replied, "But none of your style. You are the only one." I nodded. He said he has a beautiful beach house in Mooloolaba filled with beautiful girls, and he doesn't know why he is at the casino, except to see me, of course. Sweetness. Bear in mind he was a bit nuts. I don't believe for one moment he had a beach house full of beautiful girls, by the way. It was just a delusion. But then on the other hand, one can never tell. He was so nutty he might have actually pulled that off. Oh, goddess bless. Noticing he has a bit of a harmless crush, I looked up at the architecture and said, "I know why we are here. New Orleans, baby." He laughed and we both yelled out, "New Orleans." Mind you, he is American, so has probably actually been to New Orleans, while I have been stuck in parochial Brisbane for over 30 years. Ye gads, almost 31. Try almost 36 on the 1st of August. Going nowhere on my unicycle hurdy-gurdy ride through hell. But I love our little joke. I think he too is sensing the shift of energy and intention at the casino. He is like me, extremely attuned and perceptive, like a fucking Geiger counter. Maybe it's our PTSD, or maybe we were born with it, or maybe it's our mature age. Anyway, I was glad to have Luke Ritchie with me, and for the fond encouragement of the bass guitarist, who I really like and respect. I still remember the time he got frazzled as he thought my actual hamming was real flirting and quickly told me he is married. I like that in a man, decency and respect. To you, Scott. A fine musician and a good man. Yes, you are. You are indeed a good man, and you've been very sweet and kind to me, especially in the last 10 months, and I honour that. I might sulk and be a bit distressed at times because I want more out of life than I can have, but I honour that you're a good man. And I want to be surrounded by truly good men and women who have my back and my front. So I really value our friendship, my darling. It's funny how you stumble across people like that out in the scene. Authentic, good, kind people. I should find out his name one day, laughing my ass off. Those days I didn't even know his name. It's quite bizarre. But it would be weird to ask him now, after all these years. Dear God, I have turned into my mother. A name is sacred, however. It's why I chose not to gift it to the predatory man-child later in the evening. Oh well, beautiful morning. Ding, ding, ding. New breaths, new day, new adventures, new beginnings in the smoking burnt-out ends of my heydays. But oh, what fun! I attach one of the little brass bells to my car keys. So that was weird and cute. Metaphor for my life. 1st of June 2017. I just had a call from the council dispute resolution. They told me they only do mediation and I have to call the council. They asked me what I plan to do about the barking. Some arsehole was complaining to council that my dog barked all the time, that would have been my little Bella Rosa. And it was just horseshit because she hardly barked at all. So anyway, it was Beauregard. So he hardly barked at all. It was just insane. And yet there were dogs all around me barking, but they targeted me, right? Of course, the witch. It's sacred space. Always fucking targeting me, the motherfuckers. So anyway, here we go. I stated that my dog rarely barks, but the two women who regularly stand on my street corner and chat deliberately for up to an hour, deliberately baiting my dog to bark, are the source of the problem. I stated I was out last night toileting him, as I currently have no fences, so I was able to hear a large dog barking, a loud, deep voice, up the street where one of the women who harasses my dog lives. So the person who complained lives directly opposite her house, if that is the complainant, and would know it is not my dog. So this is deliberate harassment and vilification on council's part and the part of my snobby, elitist neighbourhood. I live very quietly and keep to myself. Bobo rarely barks except when these women stand there on the street corner in the afternoons. I even stared at one of them last week, so I wanted them to know I am onto their little twisted game. So this is how they escalate. I also mentioned the other issue of the neighbours blocking my driveway with a broken down car that has been there for 6 months. More harassment that council refused to deal with. Interesting, the aborted job yesterday has been remedied after I was fobbed off by housing in my initial call yesterday morning. So I took photos of the fucking fence posts and how fucking out of order they all were. Anyway, it got remedied. Twats. That's a lot of pooing, Charlie. You're getting on my nerves. I have to go back in your cage. You wanted to be with Mama, so you could poopykins all over her. Dear Goddess. Starting to feel a bit lightheaded, people. Anyway, we'll soldier on. I'm not far from finishing, I don't think. I just changed my phone plan with Optus to SIM only $50 a month, as sick of paying a small fortune. I will give myself some respite. The software update my current phone before giving up on it completely and getting a new one. What? See, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing either. 3G is ridiculous given what I pay each month. Yeah, that was a scam. The nice man suggested if the iPhone does not respond to update to take it to the Apple Store, as if it is a problem with the phone, they sometimes replace the phone. We shall see what the universe provides or derives. It's all a scam, people. I have been to Brisbane City Council, it really is, to state my case about Beauregard and the false allegations of his excessive barking. I told them how 2 women deliberately bait him regularly in the afternoon, and the complainant may even be one of those women. I told them Queensland Police have systemically abused me and refused to assist in the past, and I will not be getting rid of this dog while being bullied and targeted by neighbourhood psychopaths. So once again, we shall see. Interestingly, once I decided in my heart and mind that I'm ready and willing to move to Byron, the universe conspired to push me out of my home in a rather fractious, negative way, laughing my ass off. The universe knows I need money to live in Byron, as I cannot transfer out of this state. So the universe can treat me with kindness and generosity and decency, so I can have a peaceful, happy existence far away from the usual irksome stressors of arseholery. Thank you, universe. Together we can do it. Aren't I sweet? Aren't I sweet how I cut deals with the universe or the devil? One never knows, really. One never really knows, Charlie. Nerves shot, mind blown, onwards and upwards, ride sisters. My dog is all kosher now, desexed and registered with the council. And I posted some photos of former friends of mine, so I won't bother sharing it with you. But anyway, if you want to see them, you can look on my vocal media under even date. I went to bed at 7:30 p.m. as I was chilled to the bone, so put on my electric blanket and have just finished watching a horror movie, The Quiet Ones. Beauregard is still sleeping on the couch and refuses to come to bed with Mama tonight. He is exhausted and a tad overwhelmed from his big day yesterday in Byron Bay, digging holes in the sand. Dear little dog. I had gotten up to give him kisses and check on him, but he just yawned and stayed on the feather cushions on the couch. So I will leave him there for the night. Sometimes we all need our space. I'm going to sleep now, 9:25 p.m. Sophie is mewling beside my bed. I hope the little bugger lets me sleep. She was bouncing all around the house from 4 a.m. this morning. I eventually threw her outside at 6 a.m. No wonder I am exhausted. She never gets on my bed, so this is unusual. Probably because the dog is not here and it's a cold night, so she wants my soul. I mean, body heat. Lila Tov Kulam. A bientôt. Until tomorrow. Good night, everyone. See you soon. 1st of June 2016, 11:22 a.m. Good morning. I have a cold. Situation normal? 8 years later? Jesus. But I knew, as soon as it gets cooler, my whole body shuts down. Always does. So my psych said I'm very seasonal and he can set the clock by me. It's all very well and dandy, but it's also exhausting and depleting. But it is what it is, people. Also been awake most of the night with reflux. Old age is not for sissies or mean-ass bros either. On a quirky note, Mushu staggered home this morning at 10 a.m. He had been out all night, very likely doing the wild thing. He was so tired he looked at me cross-eyed, and he is not Siamese. So I put him in my bed and attempted to snuggle with him. He stunk of sex and dead things. He came out of the drain, so who knows what caliber of girlfriends he has in there. And pray. My son, your life is going down the drain. I need to get money together ASAP to knacker the poor wee bastard. He is such a small cat, having been the runt of his mother's litter and abandoned by her at 5 weeks old. Still, he has had a nice life with me, in spite of his poor start and shortcomings. He is just over 18 months, so he's even slow to discover sex. Oh! Anyway, he is such a sweet-natured puss, even tolerates Beauregard's rambunctious attentions and or affections. Maybe that is why he stayed out last night. Mental health break? Socks was out too, but now they are both happily snoozing, in their separate boudoirs. Fucking ill, but I have been out with a bow to overflow to buy a new swivel stake thing, a new collar and a couple of new leashes. I also got him a cute black bandana. It is a pity they didn't have a red or blue one. In Aldi I got cat litter and a big bag of chompy type schmackos the spoilt wee brat doesn't like. Oh well. I got some olives and sun-dried tomatoes. All the time, my nose streaming, sneezing and tummy pains. Stomach flu. This has been coming on since last Thursday. Now it is vicious. It is attacking me viciously. Lots more rest needed. So quite frankly, I probably shouldn't have been out shopping in that state. It was very naughty of me. I don't usually do that either, but I must have really needed to get, I must have been driven to get the things I needed to get. Kellyanne wrote, made its way over from WA pretty fast then, eh? I'm still sick 8 weeks later. This one has been a shocker. I replied, I am decreasing my antidepressants, so apparently you can get flu symptoms by doing that, or it is the actual flu. Either way, I'm very sick, but I shall overcome it. She wrote back, get some fresh navel oranges and some lemons from someplace. Hot honey and lemon drink will do you the world of good. Both honey and lemon also have antibacterial properties in case it's not a virus. The vitamin C content will do you good either way, so you can't go wrong with that unless you're allergic. On goes the heater. I can't stand the cold. Even lying under my mohair throw, I am freezing. And I posted some photos of my chickens, who I absolutely adored. They were the cutest little munchkins. Gorgeous they were. But they all kept dying of some weird random diseases. I can't help feeling they were being poisoned by the council spraying on the verge. I don't put poisons on my land, but it might have drifted across, you know. Anyway, one by one they all died and I swore no more chickens. Just can't, my nerves can't take all the death anymore. It's been too much death. I would have adopted Tiberius Maximus, but I mean, it's just don't want to suffer in constant state of grieving anymore. It's just too much. I just want a happy, loved life, well lived and well loved, safe, contented, in the arms of a man who adores me. Oh, smallest violin. Well, I could have had men who adored me, I guess, if I, wasn't creeped out by most of them and I let some of them in. Richie wanted me badly, but he was also not quite right in the head. It would not have gone well with my issues and his issues combined. And also, let's be fair here, I wasn't attracted to him, so also would not have gone well. And I need to be with a man that I love just as much as he loves me. Otherwise, what's the point? Better off on my own. 1st of June 2014. I'm having a wonderful night, rising above the ashes. Just got home from a huge night dancing at the pub and the casino. The casino live wire bar went off. I love it when it used to do that on occasion. Sometimes the magic would just happen. Maybe I was part of the magic though, to be honest. I had a marvellous time. Then I took Jo home, oi, laughing out loud. I got her to bed, then came home for a shower, saw the huge bruise on my shoulder from Friday's fracas. Double, oi. Glad I didn't let the bastards grind me down. My feet hurt from dancing all night. I feel amazing, albeit in pain. Nice to come home to the cats, chooks, fish, and a very quiet, sacred space. It's very quiet this morning here. It's so quiet that it's almost reverberating against the walls of the house. It's a weird fucking feeling, man. It's all misty outside and grey and rainy. Well, it's been raining. But anyway, the sun will come out again and all will be right in the world again. And I've got to shout myself some new nighties. Oh. Early night tonight, I'm going on a road trip to Grafton so my grandson, Ramon the Rare, can choose himself a D6 lady rabbit to have as a companion and fellow crew of clown play. Awesome. He needs to choose wisely, as apparently rabbits are quite particular about their mates. Laughing my ass off. They were both D6, but he still practiced a bit. I have visions of him thumping in disgust at every female bunny he sees. Surely he has better luck with his love life than his poor rejected human grandmother. Oh, Tia. I mean, you have to laugh. It's really quite comical in a way. This would make a great tattoo. I was going to get a lone wolf, which is my emblem, but this might be better karma if I want a partner, lol. Manifesting a partner, I'll have to get 2 wolves. Oh, dear goddess. Gorgeous. First of June 2011, going to Te Woom, that's short for Toowoomba, tomorrow to help my favourite girls move house and clean, taking Miss Bella Rosa with me so I don't fret while I'm gone all day and night. Hey Bella, we are going on a road trip. She likes those. Disappointed I didn't get my hair done tonight and have to wait till Monday. So much for my I am beautiful meditation. I sort of know I'm beautiful, but dark roots is a bit of a downer. Might have to go back to brunette. Shame, 'cause I was waiting for the bit when blondes really do have fun. Laughing my ass off. What's the old joke? Blondes have more fun, but they get dirty quick. Someone quipped that to me once, and I laughed and laughed and laughed. It was kind of hilarious, kind of sweet. And then the guy that said it didn't know what to do with himself, because I have a very loud witch's cackle, and he sort of slunk away. So then I laughed some more, because she who laughs best laughs longest and last. Ha ha! So on that joyful note, if you can't handle my power, and you can't handle my laugh, and you can't handle my light, and you can't handle my darkness, then babies, don't be coming to Mama T, wasting my time. But on that note, have a beautiful day in the space-time continuum, wherever you are on planet Earth. Be joyful, be free, remain in love with those who love you back, heartfelt and sincere, honouring and protective and sweet, nurturing, romantic and passionate, and let the rest go on their merry way, on their journey through what's left of our lives here on planet Earth. And remember, as always, never ever let the bastards grind you, me, us down. Bye for now.